Welcome to my next video. In this video, we will talk about how you can identify the risks that are important to your life and various ways, including insurance, that you can use to deal with those risks. But first, what I say in this video is based upon my education, my life experiences, and my set of values. What I say is for typical people in typical situations. It is not for all people in all situations. If it was, this video would be hours or even days long. My goal and hope is that by the end of this video, you will know more about managing your risks and you can make better decisions for your life. So, let's get started. Life has risks, and bad things can happen to us in our lives. But we can try to manage those risks. Now, a very important principle in helping us manage those risks of our lives is called the principle of the large loss. And I will try to explain this principle using a personal example. Many moons ago, I used to commute to and from my work by riding a bicycle. And I rode this bicycle through crowded city streets. Now, when I rode my bicycle, there were some risks. One risk is that I would get a cold. Another risk was that I would get hit by a car and end up with huge medical bills. Between these two risks, the cold and the huge medical bills, which was my most important risk? Which risk should I try to manage first? Well, obviously, the risk I would get hit by a car. And that is the principle of the large loss. The principle of the large loss says you should focus first on the big risks in your life. Don't sweat the small stuff. If you take care of the big risks, that is a great way to reduce the chance that something bad is going to happen in your life. So let's see how we can use this principle in something like choosing a health insurance alternative. What's a big risk when you think about health insurance? Well, the risk of huge medical bills. What's a small risk in terms of your health insurance? Well, whether you have to pay another $5 for a copay when you visit your doctor. So, when you choose your health insurance, what should you be focused on? The little things or the big things? You should be focused on the big things, the big risk, the huge medical bills. That is a great idea to focus on that first when you make choices for health insurance or when you make other choices in your life to try to decide how to manage your risks. Now, in general, different people have different attitudes towards taking risks. And also in general, the same person has different attitudes towards different kinds of risks in our life. I would highly recommend that you spend some time thinking honestly about how you really feel about the risks in your life. I say the word honestly because many of us like to think we are bold risk takers. But the reality is, most of us, most of the time, really do not like taking risks. We do not like it when bad things happen in our lives. Something to consider. So, once we've identified the big risks in our life, and once we've figured out how we honestly feel about the big risks in our life, what's next? Well, basically you have 4 different ways of dealing with any risk in your life. You can use 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of these ways of dealing with any risk in your life. So, what are the 4 ways? The first way is you can simply avoid the risk. In my bicycle example, if I wanted to avoid the risks of riding my bicycle and commuting to and from work, I could just stop riding my bicycle. Life is full of trade-offs. If I didn't really like riding my bicycle all that much, maybe I would just quit when I realized the risks involved. On the other hand, if I really enjoyed riding my bicycle, I would probably just try to keep riding and figure out some other way of reducing my risks. So, what are the other ways of reducing my risks? Well, the second way you can reduce your risk is by transferring the risk by buying some kind of insurance. I have some additional videos on insurance that you may want to check out. In my bicycle example, if I was concerned about huge health bills, I could buy some sort of health insurance. Now, health insurance, like most kinds of insurance, could help me with the money part of the risk. It could help with the huge health bills. This is good. But I would still risk getting hit by a car. Are there any other ways of reducing the risk? Yes. The third way I can reduce a risk is by using non-insurance methods. When I rode my bicycle, I could wear a helmet. I could dress in bright colors that would be easier to see. I could have lots of lights and reflectors on my bicycle. I could try to pick a route that was safer. I could try to ride in a safe and courteous manner. Now, if I decided to ride in a safe and courteous manner as a way of reducing the risk of commuting on my bicycle, how much would that cost me? That's right, nothing. And that's an advantage of using non-insurance methods to reduce your risk. They can cost you a whole lot less than what insurance costs. Sometimes they cost you nothing. Now, remember when I was going to deal with the risk by buying insurance, bad things could still happen to me. One of the advantages of using non-insurance ways of reducing your risk is you also reduce the chance that the bad thing is going to happen. Now, finally, the fourth way of reducing risks, or the fourth way of managing risks, is to just accept the risks that remain. After you consider insurance, after you consider the non-insurance methods of managing your risks, you just decide, you know what, I'm just going to accept that risk. Almost all of us have a limited amount of money to spend managing our risks. I would recommend you spend some time thinking about what are the big risks in your life? What are the big risks of something going badly wrong in your life? And how do you feel about those risks? Honestly. Next, I would recommend that you consider avoiding these risks and using non-insurance ways of dealing with these risks. Then, with whatever money you choose to spend on insurance, I would recommend you transfer the biggest risks with the biggest potential bad things that can happen by buying insurance. In this video, we learn more about how you can identify the risks that are important to you and various ways that you can use to deal with those risks. I also have a number of other videos on what you should know about insurance and on managing specific risks in your life, like your health risks. If you want to learn more, be sure to check out my other videos. Until the next video, always remember that you are the best person in the world to decide what is important in your life. Thank you for watching. Please click the button to subscribe. I hope that you got something from this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment. Please check out my channel, playlists, and other videos. Have a great day.